And good morning, you guys. I'm Amy Beth with Allison and JP. We are the right side. And you know what tagline hit me? Instead of saying the quiet part out loud?
No,
everyone, gird your loins. It's a double entendre. Well, okay, good. Are they girded? They girded?
Wait.
What does that mean? Pull up your pants?
Gird your loins for battle. We go there.
We go there.
We go there. We period, go period, there period. We go there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's not. How about that? So listen, it's just, a little coffee jolt this morning. And I was like, we go there.
Speaking of, I
so
might have to borrow one of JP's monsters.
I don't have any on me.
I thought there were some in the fridge.
There may be. If
There's
is.
some,
He
maybe.
drank them all.
Hey,
are we going to
maybe
fight?
some downstairs.
Somebody should have told me there was.
You want to arm wrestle for it?
JP.
No, you got them.
I think there are monsters in there along with the Coke.
I'll share.
No, you got it. I got me a
this
coffee.
one stupid piece of hair. Hi, happy Monday. Glad to see y'all. Hope you had a good weekend. They were busy. We were busy. My niece got married. It was such a great time. Plus, it's good, as we were saying before the show, to be with our kids, to ground us in what matters, to ground us in reality.
Mm.
And then
break from reality.
Yeah. And then this morning, of course, my husband was reading to us from a very, very long dead guy, Athanasius from 300, the 300s. And he stood alone. He was exiled 5 times, but he was the only one who stood alone for the cause of Christ very often in his life. And I thought, isn't that funny? Some things never change. Ever. Where you're the only one.
That's a pregnant, what do you call it? Not a pregnant pause.
That's a pregnant pause, a pregnant phrase.
Comment.
Pregnant. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you feel like you're the only one, remember, you're not. We're with you. And whatever it is you're in, we'll go there with you too. So just think about that this week.
As long as you're on the up and up.
Yeah, if you're on the no.
Not going.
As long as you're on the right side.
Thank you.
I like that.
He said the thing.
That's good. It's really good. You guys, before we do the word of the day, seriously, how was everybody's weekend?
We had a really good weekend. We went to the lake and had 3 out of 4 kids there, and then all their friends came, and then we had some of Jared's customers that are also friends there. But JP, you're going to love this assignment that I'm about to give you.
What?
Jared's friends / customers, they just bought now they kept saying Tesla, not a Tesla.
Why'd they call it a Tesla?
Well, I mean, technically there's only one S.
Tesla.
I mean, it's
So
like
it
when people
might
say
be-
Wesley and they call her Wesley. And I'm like,
Tesla.
no.
I mean,
Tesla.
Tez, I don't know. Anyway, they kept saying Tesla. And I'm like, well, you own one. So I made a video of because I've never ridden in one and I've never really seen one up close. It is actually super cool. And do you want to know my favorite part? Guess.
Self-driving?
Something with the seats.
Well, no.
It's the handles.
No.
No,
What?
you did ride
What?
one. We rode in the Uber. Remember the Tesla Uber?
Yeah, but that one was lame.
That was lame. Yeah.
Okay, this one was the real deal. They
Mhm.
just picked it up like 3 weeks ago. First of all, I guess every Tesla has a frunk. Do you know what a frunk is?
Oh, yeah.
The trunk in the front?
Yeah.
Yes. And you can turn it into a cooler.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
that.
You can
Forgot about
buy,
that.
yeah, it's this whole little thing. But even better, I was walking up to the car to get in it, and all of a sudden I hear,
Oh.
What?
and then
Yeah.
I stop and I look around and I'm like, nobody else is around me. And I knew it wasn't me. And then I hear, I'm like, what the heck is happening? Apparently on the app, you can make the car poot.
No, you can't.
Yes, the car will fart. And it has like 4 or 5 different farts. So like it'll notify you if somebody's coming close to your car and you can see on your
Mm-mm,
app, like
mm-mm.
whoever's walking around and you
No.
Chris needs one.
You can
He's gonna
also
have to have
change the
that.
sound of the horn.
Can you really?
Hmm
What
Can-
is to what?
Anything. I only know
Could
because
it be the General Lee?
you'll get
It can be
run over.
anything. Yeah.
Or like a truck, like a Peterbilt, like that. It'd be great.
Can it say, get out of the way?
Yeah, I can say
I'd like
anything.
it to
I
say,
only
"Get
know
out of the
because
way."
I saw a TikTok of somebody making it a sound. I mean, I won't say what it was on here, but it was really funny.
I would
So
like
know
a
you can
car
change it.
that sang a song that says, "Get out of the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out of the way."
Who's Dan Tucker?
Well, it's some old childhood fable story song. And mine would say, "Get out of the way, old Dan Tucker."
Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. That's what mine would say.
I still love I love Cybertrucks still.
Do you really?
Yes, they're so cool, and I want to ride in one. One of my good friends from high school, his dad, is a big Tesla guy, and every time like we hang out, and he's driving like his Tesla, or my friend's driving his dad's Tesla, I'm like, when is your dad gonna buy a Cybertruck? Like every time, and he's like, my dad's not buying a Cybertruck. Like they're so cool. They're so just. I know people don't like them, but I love them. They're so sick.
Yeah.
And I see one every day in Birmingham because they're not around like that in Huntsville, but I guess everybody in Birmingham drives them. But yeah, they are that's the one Tesla where I really want to ride.
That you want that car.
Yes,
Yeah.
so cool.
Okay.
There's one green Tesla in Huntsville that is famous, and it's always at the same corner. It's like a green, like a neon green Cybertruck.
Oh my
And
goodness.
That's pretty much it.
Why is it always at the same corner?
I don't know. Some guy, he goes to like car shows, and he's at all the car shows, but he like parks it at like a corner or something just for people to look at it, I guess.
Well, that's a whole thing.
Time out. I need to know how the bridal cake was.
Oh my word. Allison Sinclair.
Did you talk like this and drink tea?
I didn't. Well, I did drink tea. Sorry, my chickens came to see me this
Was
morning.
it a sip and say?
I was about to say, was it a sip and stare?
Look,
a sit and stare.
look how pretty that was.
That is really pretty.
It was a strawberry cake. And
That's really
we
pretty.
had poppy seed
Look
chicken.
at the oil painting behind that.
I
Please
know.
Go
Just
back.
go scan through. Like, I don't care. Isn't she so pretty?
I bet
Oh, I
that's
mean-
Leonard. What was his name?
That guy.
That
So
did-
we were at my sister-in-law, Erin's, one of her best friends and work friends, home.
Oh my gosh.
And the husband was a builder. So, of course, it was
This is so Montgomery.
right. Wasn't it, though?
I mean, look at
I know. It was so pretty and lovely. Oh, my
like
word.
there's real china.
So I was going to send the pictures to my mom because she'd be like, exactly. So it was lovely. The girls were delightful. The pink for the bridesmaids dresses. I've got to go.
Is that your chicken coop?
Yeah. And I turned into an aviary because the birds got trapped in when I opened the door one day last week.
Oh my gosh, it's
And
so
I was
pretty.
like, get out, little birdies, get out. Anywho, so the wedding was glorious. And I will show you in the break because it was Palm Beach basically was the theme. And he's a golfer. And it was at Chapel at the Waters. It was awesome. And then our uncle, who's also marrying Will and Kinsey, does a
Wow.
beautiful wedding. And he talked about roots and how the Bible opens and closes with a wedding and the wedding feast of the Lamb. Get out of here.
So
It was incredible.
Do you have an uncle in your family too that marries everybody? Because that's how it is.
Yes.
So
Yes,
What?
both sides actually.
my dad's youngest brother is a pastor, and this is the plot side that has 13 cousins, and he has married every plot cousin.
Yes, it's like, of course, he, and I was so silly when we got married. It's Chris's uncle, but it's Chris's uncle who introduced us, he and his wife. But it was, in this age of no one gets married anymore, but they're slowly coming back, to see that beautiful chapel and to hear the word. Her friend did the flower, like everything was amazing. And the cakes, remember the cute girl who made the cookies and the cakes
Oh, for the
she did the wedding cakes. One layer was like red velvet. One layer was sprinkle confetti, but homemade.
wait, what was her name? Something with
Homemade
Hannah
by Heart.
Heart.
H-A-R-T. Holy cow.
And she's like 10.
18.
Same thing.
Unbelievable. So it was very special, but it was just good to be with the family. You know what I'm saying? That
She
was
like-
delightful.
She
Just
was like
10.
10.
She did the
No big
baby.
deal.
She's
She's so
18.
little. She no,
She's
but
just
that
a little baby.
So what? I'm 14.
That's so pretty. Yeah, you're 14.
is that the bride.
Yes, look. How pretty are they?
Gosh, it's straight.
They're
out of
so
the movie.
darling and loving. I mean, they were just precious. Look at that. Hold on. You got to see the cake. Come on, back up. Back up. Anywho, I'll show you in the break. It was
Boomer doesn't know how to work
precious.
the stories.
Well, it was already at the end. Okay, Marge? It's already at the end.
You
all
gotta
right.
go.
I gotta go
out.
back.
Y'all,
I gotta back.
y'all are like the two old guys in the Muppets.
Yes, that's exactly what we are. We're standing there and we're in the Muppet stage. We're like, what do you think? We should keep talking?
What is their whole point?
They're
They're ridiculous.
they're
Are they
ridiculous.
just angry?
No, they're just ridiculous old guys, and it's funny.
I can't. One of the
I
funniest
kinda
ones.
ship it.
I can't remember one. They said something about a plane touching down in Dallas, and the guy goes, "A touchdown in Dallas must have been for the visiting team." Oh, it's just like that's their bit. It's just stupid.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. We should probably do an allegedly tomorrow in Muppet voices.
I was a Muppet kid.
I
was a
think
big
maybe
Muppet
we
kid.
need to switch up allegedly because people, maybe not,
I think,
but people just don't get it. Like they still comment that my voice is fake, and I'm like, yeah,
No duh.
yeah, and they're like, they just don't get. If you get it, well, maybe we keep it because if you're in the club, not the club, but
the club
The
where we all
club.
fam.
then you're in the club and you're like, you just don't know.
Well,
Guys, I think we should do a disclaimer.
I put the disclaimer. I've had to put a disclaimer on allegedly shorts.
Guys, what do we need to do then? So maybe during a break, we need to, the three of us, before allegedly, look at the camera and be like, you guys, this is called satire. Satire. Okay, so we're going to do that tomorrow. That was a preview. So for a party that we need to laugh more, but we're using the, as Doug Wilson says, the serrated edge, the sharp edge of the knife to get our point across. That's what we're doing.
Well,
welcome.
This is what I think the problem is. The problem is it's Southern accents, and people in the South, a lot of people we allege about actually talk like how we're faking. And so people think that we're making fun of them. That's the problem.
But maybe we are.
But
So
I've had to put a
there's
disclaimer about this is not mocking anybody. This is not, we're just having fun. But yeah, some of the comments, and this is funny because I'm in control of the social media. So I see them, and every once in a while, I just want to be like, I don't. But like somebody on the last one I put up was talking about Allison, was like, fake voice. She's clearly fake. And I want to respond with like, that's the point.
Listen, it's like one of Wesley's roommates used to say, idiot, idiot, idiot.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning, like, love you, mean it, but come on, guys. So tomorrow it will be Sesame Street satire. And you don't know. Maybe we will
That
do it in
wasn't-
Muppet voices. Maybe we'll do it Marge and what's her name? Regina? I don't know. I'm just making it
Regina.
up on the spot. We don't know. So you get the point. Okay. Because you want I should. In New York, they'd be like, oh, that's hilarious. In Alabama, like, oh my goodness, that is just not funny.
Yeah, we've lost our funny bone.
Yes. Maybe that's what we should call it. Allegedly. Ellipsis, the funny bone segment.
The stop taking yourself so seriously.
Yeah.
I really think the only one that we could, Morgan Murphy is the only one that really kind of closely talks like that. And that was one of the first allegedlys that kind of went crazy. And so people, maybe that's where it comes from, because he does have a very Southern accent.
No, really?
Because, but I had no idea.
I don't know if
And he
it's-
dresses really Southern. He was the editor of Southern Living.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you can say, at least when I think of that, I didn't think Morgan Murphy, but I guess thinking back, you're probably right. But honestly, and we're not going to get specifics, but like, yeah, it's a lot of the people who like the people, like the crowds and the teams of the people we're alleging about that get most upset about it, not the people themselves.
And also, because that is a small universe, the people at large get it. The people that are not in the universe, the people outside that make the universe run, they think it's hilarious. So that's also a whole thing. At the end of the day, all right, listen, before we do the word of the day, before we do a quick yammer, we have a lot of news today. JP has given us a really good montage, but there are things we want to add in, and there are two. And JP, you're not expecting one, but you perhaps are the other because we were discussing your op-ed. But we really must talk about the massive Supreme Court ruling in favor of parents. And we'll do that later today. That is a big, big deal. And a win that no one thought was coming. And then the other part that we want to jump into also in the 11 o'clock hour is just real quick is people's inability to deal with anything they disagree with. And then the vitriol that spews like a fire hydrant toward, for example, another one of JP's excellent op-eds is insane. It's insane. It's why we do allegedly, because we need to laugh, because some of the things y'all say, not y'all, out there, are unhinged. So that will be in the 11 o'clock hour. But at the beginning of the day, we do have the montage, obviously, after the break. But first, we have the words of the day. I still can't believe we did the sprinkler last week.
Three, 2, 1.
Thank you.
I do like the countdown.
I like that was good. That was good. That was like the DJ at the roller rink.
Allison, instead of stopping dancing, she freezes where she's at when the music stops.
It's like the end of a dance.
It's like Toy
It's
Story
really
where the
dramatic.
toys like drop on the floor.
Love it.
Andy's coming. Is there a new Toy Story out?
I hope not.
I think there is.
They should have stopped it right. Toy Story.
They should have. Oh, my
It's the perfect
one
trio.
Before we
ridiculous
end,
piece of
Andy's going
hair.
to be gay.
Okay, guys, I've got a word. It's
Just
a
a
noun.
furry.
It starts with an A.
Oh, don't look.
Don't cheat. A piece of clothing or equipment.
Apron.
used-
Wow.
that was quick, but no.
Oh,
Used in a particular place or for a specific activity. It can also refer to an identifying or superficial characteristic or device.
Artificial.
Close.
wait, what? What? No, stop, JP. Read it again.
Okay, I'm going to read the shorter definition because they gave two because they knew we'd need it. A great noun to describe the gear or accessories that go along with a specific activity or lifestyle.
Starts with an A.
Starts with an A. You're going to have fun saying this word. It's a long word, but it's just
Attaché.
close. You're so close, JP.
That's a bag.
One
right?
more.
This is a woman answer. I don't
It-
know.
Apparatchik. An accessory.
Accoutrement.
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 Are we French?
So it's accoutrement. Let's see. What can we say? The accoutrement of the rich are Bentley convertibles. That is, a superficial way to go, oh, look, they got dollars. Or maybe they don't have dollars. Maybe they spent all their dollars on their car.
Yo.
Identifying superficial characteristic or device. Superficial characteristic or device. Think about that today and try to work it into your vocabulary. JP, what you got?
Okay, this is a Gen Z phrase of the day.
Okay.
It's just something that the girls I worked with at Chick-fil-A claimed I do constantly. Is in social media, a blank is a response to show you. Okay, well, I guess not just social media, but it started on social media. Is a response to show you are disapproving, suspicious, or skeptical of a situation or person. And the example is, I can't believe you don't like French fries. And then phrase. Like, say the phrase.
That's ridiculous.
Low
is the
key
phrase.
lame.
No.
That's
Low key sus.
That
What's physically something that apparently I do all the time, and it's like a
like a mug.
a skeptical. It's
scowl.
a look
Oh.
or something you do.
It's not mogging.
We gotta hurry because we're not gonna have
let's
time
go.
to yammer. Hold
Okay.
on. You are screeching. You're sketching.
What is it?
Tuesday.
Side eye.
Side
Oh, my
eye.
granddaughter can already give a good side eye, and she's only 1.
I love that emoji.
That's a good side eye.
Yeah, you were trying to give us hints, weren't you?
That's good.
Yes,
You
I
were
was.
side eye.
Yeah.
JP, that was good. You do give a lot of side eye.
Disapproval.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
You need your glasses.
Well, I think I'm okay.
I'm gonna
but-
push. Yeah, I'm gonna push the break for 2 minutes. So we got enough time for a proper yammer.
Yum yum yum.
Yammer. Yammer yammer do.
Are you gonna do the?
Yammer?
That was really good.
That was excellent.
I prefer doing it live instead of doing a sound effect.
That's good. It's fancy.
Until
All right.
last week, Allison said, "What if you lose your whistle?" And it's
Then just
like,
quit.
Yammer.
Don't come back. Okay. What you got?
I'll
there?
pull up a yellow hammer on
Okay, thank you.
our stream here. Unfortunately, the top story is a sad one.
Oh, it's so sad. You want to take that first?
Yeah, we can. It's in the montage too. But
Okay.
if y'all want to go to that one first, of Auburn University student Weston Higginbotham was found dead in Japan. And this story is just really, it's tragic, obviously, but it's just weird. Like, he apparently willingly left his family on a family trip to Japan, and he was found dead in a mountainous area outside Kyoto, Japan, after a week-long search that drew support from volunteers, search teams, and thousands of people across Alabama and around the world. But the part, like, apparently he willingly left, his family. So I don't know what happened, if it was just it is a tragic story. But I think this kind of came out of nowhere from the family, in terms of this is not something they would have expected. Like, him to just roam off and leave is not typical, I guess. So
I think we'll probably hear more about this, but allegedly they got in a disagreement about AI and Chat GPT, and he left, went to a hardware store. I think that was the last place he used his credit card. He clearly, he had to, you're a 6 foot something blondie in Japan. You're going to get noticed if you're out running around. And as soon as they put out like these flyers, and his story made it on the news, if he had been out in public, he would have been spotted very quickly. So I think whatever happened quickly after he disappeared. I guess his mom gave an interview at some point. I never saw it. I would love to know if you could find it, but I would like to watch it. But they live in our neighborhood. The people we were with at the lake this weekend were with him at the lake last summer. And like, there's so many connections there.
yeah, I think someone in my family works with his parents.
Yeah,
So,
that's a tragic story. My story is real quick because I didn't know this. Did you know that there's a Vestavia native, Birmingham Southern grad, who runs FanDuel?
no.
There are 307 illegal online sports books currently I don't know what just happened, currently taking bets in Alabama. But Christian Janetsky wants to replace them with one legal market, and the Alabama native running FanDuel may be the most qualified person in the country to make the case. He graduated from BSc and then Vanderbilt School of Law, and then appointed as the president of FanDuel Group back in 2022. So I don't know, and nor do we have much more time for that, but I think that's quite interesting that he's from Vestavia running FanDuel, and time will tell what's going to happen with the whole sports betting market, but that's a whole thing. We'll have a deeper conversation about that later.
Yeah.
Since we got about 2 minutes, and we got the approval that we can do stories that aren't covered on the Yammer, but I had to play this one. Did y'all see what
Do I not get a story?
I thought you did a story. Oh,
I didn't do
did
a
the first.
story.
I thought
Yes.
you did the first story.
No.
Sorry,
You don't get to
I
go
totally forgot.
twice.
I thought you did the first story for some reason. My bad. Go ahead.
No. And mine is a Yellowhammer article too. And we're still doing it. Okay. Remember when Barry Moore came on the show and he said he had this great idea? Like, honestly, I'd never thought about it, which is I mean, I have a brain. Sometimes I don't put it to use, I guess. But we were talking about term limits for Congress, and he was like, "How about term limits for lobbyists?" I'm like, absolute genius. Well, Yaffe has a story. Barrymore introduces Blast Act to ban members of Congress from becoming lobbyists. The revolving door in Washington needs to be closed. And clearly, JP didn't give me time to go into it any deeper because he's playing the music. Yes, it will absolutely not go anywhere, but kudos to Barrymore for putting it out there because it needs to be a discussion, because then they know all the places to go. They know how it works, and they're just like seedy little leeches that stay in DC forever and run Capitol Hill. We need to get them gone. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with the montage. Come back to the right side. I'm in a weird, I've never sat on this side of the table. I feel very Amy Bethish.
Yeah, it's Amy Beth's spot.
Yeah, but I am not Amy Beth. I'm Allison Sinclair with JP and a super tall Jay Mitchell, candidate for Attorney General of Alabama, and Pamela Casey, former candidate. That's kind of awkward. But are you loving your new life, like not on the road?
Yes and no. I mean, just working. My husband's not loving it because we installed 100 feet of PVC pipe at our house over the last weekend.
What do you?
Our gutters got blocked, and we pulled up the corrugated pipe, and I was like, let's put PVC down. And
So
like, I hate you.
now you're not traveling to all 67 counties. You have time for like home projects.
Whole list.
And then I forget you still have like a district attorney job that you have to do.
Every 24/7. I've already been on the phone with officers this morning.
Well, we appreciate y'all being here. Jay, actually the first time you've been on the show, and I am kind of embarrassed, and I've known you for a while, and known your name. We've been in kind of the same places, but I had to Google this morning, like, where is Jay Mitchell from? So tell us a little bit about yourself. I did find out you're from Mobile.
Well, I was born in Mobile.
Okay.
My parents were living in the area at the time. I did my early growing up in the Wiregrass, where my parents were from originally. So down Coffee County, Dothan area down there. My late mother was from Geneva. But my dad was a salesman. My mom was a Christian school teacher and a stay-at-home mom. And my dad got transferred to Birmingham when I was 10. So I went to Homewood Middle School and Homewood High School.
So do you say like you grew up in Homewood?
Yeah.
Your formidable years in Homewood.
That's all right.
And then what happened?
Well, then I went across town to Birmingham Southern. Rest in peace.
Yeah, but kind of cool. How do you feel about the Coast Guard?
I'm great. I'm
Coast
great with
Guarding.
that. Yeah, it's sort of a redemption story to see the Coast Guard coming there. Sad to see the college close. I was a walk-on basketball player there 30 years ago. Amy Beth's husband, Chris, had just graduated right before I got there. But he and I have known each other a long time and played a lot of basketball against each other.
Very cool. So went to Birmingham Southern, and then where'd you go to law school?
University of Virginia.
That's random.
Yeah.
It's a dang good school, though.
Yeah.
I'm not. Look, let's go. But that is kind of random. Like I thought you were going to say University of Alabama. No?
Yeah, I went to the University of Virginia, great law school. Met my wife Elizabeth there, who's a proud Auburn grad. We met the first day of law school and fell in love, got married, and then moved back to Alabama right after law school to practice law.
And then you're back in Homewood?
Yeah, back in Homewood. That's right.
2 kids?
4 kids.
4?
Yeah, 4 kids. Elizabeth didn't practice law for very long. She got pregnant, and she wanted to stay at home with the kids. So we had 4 kids. We had 4 kids in 6 years, and so our oldest has just graduated from college and gotten engaged. And so we're very busy at the house right now.
I say 4. I have 4, but 2 are. I have 4, but I didn't cheat, but 2 are adopted, so I didn't have to birth 4, and so I feel like kind of like, but they're all just like 18, 24 months apart.
That's hard.
So I get you.
That being that close, like mine were 19, 20, and one's potty trained, it was a game changer.
Yeah, it's a
one
lot.
One can dress themselves. It becomes one can hold a bottle. It becomes so that's 4. I guess
it's like a rotating. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So somewhere in there, though, you ran and were elected to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And you served. What was your first term or first year there?
Yeah, I was elected in 2018.
Okay.
Before that, I spent 16 years in the courtroom as a lawyer, and then I was elected to the Alabama Supreme Court in 2018. And so I served there for 6.5 years. And in order to be able to run for attorney general, under our state's judicial ethics rules, if you're a judge and you're going to run for a non-judicial position, you have to leave the bench. So I left the bench in order to run for this.
Which is a little different. He and I didn't have to leave DA's office to run for AG, but a judge can't run while they're a judge for, like, if he was going to run for a different appellate, like somebody on the appellate court, like the Crims or the Sibs, could run for the Supreme Court and not step down.
Okay.
But if you're going to run for non-judicial, you have to leave because there's that appearance of impartiality and.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so that's great. Why run for attorney general?
Well, the short answer is I feel called to it. And there are a couple of big things going on there. One is, being on the Alabama Supreme Court, handling a ton of, we handle the biggest cases we have in the legal system in Alabama on both the criminal and the civil side. And I was really troubled by some of what I was seeing with respect to crime going on in Alabama, especially in our hot spots like Montgomery and Birmingham have been here over the last number of years, and feeling like I could make a difference there based on my judicial experience. The other thing was candidly seeing President Trump get reelected. I'm a big fan of President Trump, a big fan of his policies, his vision, and watching him come back into office, be sworn back in last year, just had a real impact on me. And I really believe we've entered a new national moment. With President Trump in the White House, I think this is a gigantic opportunity for our country to get generational conservative victories. And then you kind of boil it down to what's going on in the states. The only way we're going to have true, lasting conservative change in America is if it happens not just in D.C., but also in the states, and in particular in red states. So I really feel called to the opportunity to help initiate and catalyze that kind of conservative change that we need in Alabama, and to really be in line with what the president's doing.
It is funny how, growing up, it was Washington, D.C., and everything was kind of grand and glamorous up in D.C., the federal side of politics and policy. And over the years, I have come to learn how important your state and states' rights and.
Hello and welcome back. Maybe it's just that I'm old and that felt loud. Anywho, my ear. Yeah, sometimes my right ear does hurt. Does your ear ever hurt?
Oh, my left ear hurts today.
Okay, I'm glad it's not just me, but I'm sorry your ear hurts. Okay, you found the right side where we go there. And right now, we're going to go there with the montage.
I like that.
Iran has launched at least 4 waves of missiles at Israel in response to those IDF strikes against the Lebanese capital of Beirut earlier today. I just got off the phone with President Trump, who is following the developing situation across the region. He told me what I would suggest to Iran. You've shot your missiles, that's enough. Get back to the table and make a deal.
Your elections in this country, we're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC.
In New York or New
Japan. His body was found by a volunteer search group in a mountainous area just outside of Kyoto. His mother sharing the sad update on Facebook, writing in part, quote, "Thank you for your thoughts, prayers, and support. We will need them now more than ever. We will always love you, Weston."
This is exactly what every single Christian athlete should do on Pride Night. On Friday night, the LA Dodgers played their crosstown rival, the LA Angels. It was Pride Night, and every single player decided to wear the rainbow-colored Pride hat. But only one player decided, I ain't gonna do that. Blake Trinan entered in the 9th inning to just get one single out, but he made a profound statement.
Well, what'd he do?
He did not wear the pride hat. He wore the normal hat.
We're just still taking notes. Oh, sorry. All right. So, because we all have Iran fatigue, and this is kind of like Russia, and Ukraine with our friend Scott Beeson. We have Iran fatigue. Scott. Right? Am I wrong?
That's all you ever want to talk about.
So we're going to just, whatever happens in Iran, that's what happens. I like the strength that Trump is showing with Netanyahu. I don't know that I believe much of anything I hear anymore. And I feel like we're all the same way and you guys are too. But I do like the strength, and y'all just need to get it worked out because power speaks to power. That's the only thing that's going to work, both with Israel and with Iran. Eat it or wear it is now my new motto with this whole thing.
I almost don't. I woke up to a Truth Social post. Iran and Israel are back. There's almost a ceasefire agreement that could be settled by today. Blah, 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 blah.
That's right.
Blah. Cry harder. I'm over it. Don't come back until it's either glass or we're gone.
I have a question.
What?
All right. Now go with me. Why are you laughing?
I just think we're funny today.
Did you get this from our favorite store?
Say it. Don't ask where I got this because I'm going to hell for it.
Why are you going to hell?
Where's it from?
Of course it's from that place. Do you know what though?
Where they use child workers.
Most of
Shein?
all of our
Yes.
Or is it Shein? Most of our clothes come from there anyway. And they just take the handbags that people think they're paying $1,000. I'm not paying $1,000 for a handbag. But I've just discovered they're all from there anyway. They just change out the labels. So we need to deal with China too. All right. Here's my question. That's later.
But don't take my $7 shirt.
No, don't take, I don't have anything on Shein today, but generally I do. My necklace is Shein. When it comes to Trump, when it comes to war, when it comes to the different skirmishes that we have found ourselves in. Now, this is conspiracy brain, and I'm not even saying I agree with my question, but I have to ask, is there any chance that because Trump ran on a no new wars, basically, I'm not doing this, I'm not for endless war, I'm not a neocon. Do you think that there are people within the swamp who have set him up to go into all these different places to keep him occupied so that they can go do their thing? And like, yay, we love war. Look, he's doing it after all. But are there chances that swampy powers or outer ring powers have set some of these things up?
Or foreign powers?
I'm just asking. Again, I don't agree with my question, but I today thought I've got to ask.
You're sounding like me.
I'm just asking. Or is that ridiculous?
No, I think it's a fair question. Like who's really calling the shots? Because a lot of what's happening right now is not very Trumpy. Like he is a get in, get her done. I don't have patience. Like he's never measured. He is in the beginning, but like this is dragged on way too long.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels like he's actually not in control. So I don't know. Like call me when you pick a side. Other than that.
Yeah, that's how I feel. JP, what do you think?
Yes, I think whether it's inside the Oval Office or in DC or foreign powers, he was baited into this. I think he was sold a lie about what would happen. I think he was sold a lie about, okay, you're saying if I go in and I destroy all their, if we bomb them, we kill the Ayatollah, you're saying that will start the protest. That will give them the boost they need to overthrow, have regime change, and then Israel will be saved. It's like, yes, Mr. President, yes. And then that didn't happen, and now he's stuck. But here's the problem, and I actually agree with this. You have to leave with some sort of strength intact. You have to leave and declare it a victory somehow, because if you don't, then that just destroys all your deterrence globally. So now that he's in it, okay, how are we going to pull out of this and have a declared victory and not show weakness? And that's where it's like, I don't know how you can do that, honestly. But yes, I think he was sold a lie to get into it. And we can talk about who sold him that lie or not. But I don't think he would have done it had he had seen that this would have happened. But also Trump's never going to admit he was wrong, you know?
Yep.
So I think that's the dilemma.
I The reason I can go there a little bit in my brain is that he was so resolute when running for office that he was against these things. And he showed who I think he was and who he likes to be as far as going in Venezuela, in, out, on the way. And so that's what has me thinking is this is not his MO. And he thinks people are going to do their job. He's not a micromanager. And I think that's in this situation where he got himself into trouble. If indeed there's trouble, maybe there's this whole master plan and we being the plebeians have no idea. But after all this time, it's worth considering because we're nearing 100 days. This is just not like him. Anywho, I thought I'd put it out there.
And Congress did pass a resolution to restrain him, but then we talked about, I don't know if Amy Beth was here when we talked about this, but then apparently the president can still veto that. So it's almost, all right, so you're just doing it to be like,
you're registering your objection. Yeah. Noted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywho.
So next, to something that I voted for that guy when he walked off the interview with Kristen, what is her name? Weller? I don't know.
I think it's Kristen Welker.
Thoughts? Because it also involves California, and I would love to weave in the conversation about Spencer Pratt and this girl who was at 22% and is suddenly in the lead. It all goes together. But what did y'all think about first, the interaction with Kristen, and second, the conversation that they were having or that they got into about election fraud in California as a whole?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting what he did because he basically put every media outlet that hates him in a corner. Like either you got to play nice when you go interview him or you're not going to have access to him. So which is it going to be? Like he's just not playing along anymore.
That's why she's paid the big bucks.
Huge.
And we make so much money.
Basically, never mind. So yeah, I think it was a boss move on his part, and I don't know what they'll choose. They could be stupid and choose just not to do anything with him anymore, which would be a colossal mistake. Then you go to the Spencer Pratt thing. They 100% stole that from him. I am convinced there was no way he was ever going to win because they would not let him. 100% agree. But then nobody in California will do anything about it. Zero.
What can be done? Is there any hope out of this, or does this have to play out and then we go back to it later and the DOJ does something?
I don't know. I always go back to what Scott Beeson, who we've talked about him a few times today. He's bestowed so much wisdom on us, but he always would say, even back in 2010 when he was running, he's like, we just knew at the ballot box, you had to win about 20% more of the votes, add 20% on for the cheating. I think that's what you have to do. But then you look at what Biden with 81 million votes and a straight up line, which is statistically impossible. Nothing ever happened with that. So I don't know. I think we're kind of screwed.
JP?
See, I'll be the one contrarian in this conversation. I agree with everything y'all are saying. I don't like when Trump has that reaction because he stormed off and threw his mic down, stepped on his mic and squished it and stormed off the interview early. I just think he just comes across like a baby whenever he does that. And it's everything he's saying and fighting for, I agree with, but if the response when they ask him for evidence is to just say, all of you are corrupt and all of you are against me and I'm done with this interview and I'll throw the mic down and then leave. I don't like that reaction. It makes it seem like he has no argument and he just isn't insecure or doesn't know how to take pushback. So
there's so much evidence out there though.
Right.
Like we've been talking about. I mean, what else? How many more times can he say it? He's truthed about it. He's talked about it in every other interview, and they're still coming out. I mean,
But you see what I'm saying, though? If he makes the claim and then the interviewer says, "Where's your evidence?" and his response is, "All of you are corrupt. All of you suck, and I'm done. I'm leaving the interview." Then it makes it look like he has no argument. You see what I'm saying? I wish he would have a better response than that. And obviously, that's Trump, so I get it. But yeah, And some people may disagree with me about that, but I just wish she would, because whenever you have that response, you just give them what they want in terms of proving them right.
But I think they already have what they want, which is they don't research, they don't study, they don't bother to look into anything he's ever said. And so then the question becomes, which is why I loved what he did, when are you going to say, you know what, I'm really done? Because we're all watching it going, she has no interest in the truth. She just has interest in herself and the same stupid talking points and pretending like, oh, we're still pulling the wool over people's eyes, despite evidence to the contrary. Was talking to one of Chris's uncles this weekend, who's the psychologist. He has a consulting firm. And we were talking about dealing with people like that. And he said, it's so funny because I hadn't even seen the interview until this morning or yesterday afternoon, but you do have to disengage from that personality type. At some point, you have to go, we are not going to match up. Our terms will not, we haven't defined the terms. We're coming at it from different points of view. You can talk until you're blue in the face, but there's going to be no agreement. And so at that point, you go, I'm out. It's called the raise the roof, or the other tactic is the suicide tactic, where you're like, I'm out. And I think that's a very acceptable tactic with all that Trump has been through. I mean, now look, for example, back at E. Jean Carroll, that's a separate case, but it's same, different. She lied. She was bankrolled. Oops, I forgot who bankrolled me. This was complete garbage. And it's all coming out that she lied. But they're going to go with the fact that he's a rapist based on what a liar said. And now Kristen Welker was coming at him with, but what evidence do you have? And the best response before he stormed off is, I cannot believe you're so lazy. You haven't done your homework. That would have been a better way to end, but I'm all for that kind of end because we've watched him take it for years. And so I think sometimes it's appropriate to go, this is done. I'm done.
Couldn't he go prove to me that the elections were safe and secure? Use the numbers that are out there and flip it on her? Or
yes, that would have been even better.
Yeah.
Even better. But they already have made their mind up. And so now what does he do from here? That's the real question. Is he going to go back on with them or just say CBS, what, they already paid him money, or was it ABC? Somebody's already paid him money.
ABC.
You know, so he's
CBS too,
going
actually.
to win when he sues them for lying. This is not that case. But I think we all will come to a point in conversations with people where we just have to say, I'm out.
yeah, it'd be different if it was his first sit down about election integrity.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're right. The burden of proof is on her.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
Reverse
very
it.
interesting. And then to the Spencer Pratt, like you said, statistically relating to Biden, and now statistically, not specifically.
Specifically.
Like a 5-year-old trying to get my biscotti in the lunchroom. Did you say that? Did you?
Yeah.
I said sketty.
Did you say? I said biscotti, and the lady wouldn't give me the delicious, kind of weird noodles and sauce until I could say it correctly.
Oh, it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Anyway, she was really sweet. She was always a lunch lady. But statistically, it is impossible. And this is where I feel the most helpless, is you're watching it and they just went, oh no, Spencer Pratt, took it back. And so now they're not even going to look out for the welfare of their city. Karen Bass is going to keep doing what she's doing. This other know-nothing is going to keep doing what she's doing. And so what can you really do? What can this Republican Congress or the DOJ, what can they do to help stop this from happening in the future?
Pass the Save America Act.
And then that would also mean that there's no more going door to door collecting ballots.
Right.
No more sending out ballots. But what else? Because that's what I'm watching going, you know, that lady on Instagram going,
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this.
The states, I mean, in what, California. I just want to kind of cross it out of my brain.
No, so awful.
You know, they vote for like 68 days. Like, you got to cut it down to voting, and ballots are in, and you count the votes like one day. Maybe absentee ballot voting, but there's no early voting. There's no late voting. And blah, blah. Like one day. I think states can do things too, because this came in, what, a week later?
Mhm.
It's total bunk. Total bunk. States can do more to protect their elections, but in states like California, they don't want to. So we really have no.
Yeah. And the Save America Act would actually just to do federal elections, obviously. So that wouldn't even affect how they do their.
Why don't we start cheating?
Well, I think Republicans do. Why do you think Republicans don't want to pass the Save America Act? So it's a both sides. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, but why can't Spencer Pratt go find his ballots and just dump a bunch of?
Because he's in a blue
43,000
state.
even, right? Which is not suspicious at all for her and not him.
I mean, do we have that go ahead?
We do.
Well, no, but I mean,
We don't. Just kidding.
but I like, at what point do we go? They're doing it. Clearly, it's okay. They haven't stopped. So why can't we?
There's no reason we can't.
I mean, except we wouldn't be able to sleep at night and it's wrong.
Clip that. Allison Sinclair wants to commit voter fraud.
100%.
Look,
No, we don't. But like, where's that will? The compact that the Democrats in California have made with each other is look the other way. This is not happening. Meanwhile, their state is, and now we should just pray that it slides off, like they always say it's going to. But save all the people.
because we'll never win if we don't cheat.
But this is pathetic.
You know,
Absolutely pathetic.
It makes Alabama and our elections. I mean, at least we knew the results that night.
It's true. I mean, and look,
And our elections aren't the gold standard necessarily, but
They're more golden than that.
yeah.
I mean, at least we can mark off our 100-plus-year-olds off the list. So this is very frustrating, and I don't know why Californians don't care more. You would think with all the million, billion, gajillionaires that live out there that secretly voted for Pratt, that they wouldn't use some of their wealth to enact change. But maybe not. Maybe they're just like, you know what? This is what we got. So Spencer Pratt, move somewhere else and run for mayor where you have a chance.
Well, Karen Bass has already been declared the winner, right? They're just determining who's going to make the runoff.
Mhm.
So
Mm-mm-mm.
this is so funny.
All right. Well, it's just tragic. Tragic, you guys. All right. We don't have a whole lot of time. We have what, a minute?
About 30 seconds.
All right. Anybody got any trivia?
No, but I think on the other side, maybe I don't know if we want to get into Alabama. I do think we need to have a discussion about, and I don't know if we want to do it today, but about pride, and because it's becoming a thing of less and less sports teams are participating in Pride Night, and then events like the Dodgers pitcher are happening. So maybe I don't know if we want to do that at 11:30, but I think a pride discussion is warranted.
I think absolutely. I think we can finish the montage. I think we can save that for 11:30. And I also, we've got to talk about, and we will be introducing more stories on education. What the Supreme Court did and rule in favor of parents is incredible. And it really dovetails nicely with the Pride story because it started with LGBTQ and libraries, et cetera, and classes. So a lot of good stuff to come.
We'll be back. I don't think there's a more important, I guess you could argue the governor's office, but the attorney general's office is probably the most important, in my opinion, as we've watched over the past few years between COVID and lots of different crazy things that have tried to come down, especially during Biden. Just protecting your state's values is so important. We had you on, you talked about why you were running, had the election, you ran an incredible race. Really, I was not, I mean, it was so, all three of you all have run a great race, but someone had to walk away, not in the runoff. You endorsed Jay. Why? Jay Mitchell.
Yeah, it really came down to, I thought the attorney general should have some legal background in terms of in the courtroom. It's really hard to run an office and understand what DAs and other attorneys in the office are doing if you've never walked in the courtroom, stood in front of a judge and really had that experience. And Jay's the only other one left in the race that's actually been in the courtroom. I mean, it's kind of like someone going to the police academy and coming out and being an investigator. Well, unless you work the streets and you understand it, it's really hard to do the higher level. But, the main thing for me was all the money that came into this race. If you look at the amount of money that's come in, I think I spent about $200,000. And I really think that dark money that you can't really tie down. I mean, you see who is on the sheets, but it's really coming through a 501c4. It bothered me that what I saw as a try to work around our campaign finance laws was going to be in charge of the AG's office. And so I wanted to make sure that I did my part in protecting the people of the state from dark money by endorsing the one person that we can look at their contribution list and know where the money's coming from. AL.com put out an article today, and whether you like AL.com or not, I think it's a very well-written article about where all that money's coming from. And, Jay and I were friends on the campaign trail. I mean, literally, like, people would sometimes laugh and be like, y'all actually talk? I'm like, yeah, we're friends. And I didn't know Jay. I just got to know him. And so, we took a week. My husband and I both talked about it. We didn't just jump right in. And we feel like Jay is the person that should run that office and lead that office. He has the experience. But more than that, he's been transparent with the people of the state of Alabama.
I do want, because all the gambling money that came in with American Conservative Fund, all that played a role in some of the state level races, House, Senate districts. There was lots, the term dark money is thrown around a lot. What is dark money? Because actually I had a 501c4 local Alabama for years. And, 501c4s are legal entities. Like Eagle Forum has a branch of 501c4. They can give to political things. So how do you differentiate what's good and what's bad? And when you say dark money, what do y'all mean?
Let me jump on that just so, Jane, but you said something that's important. You said you'd had it for what? For years.
Yeah.
But when you have these 501c4s that are literally established within days or weeks before money is then pushed through, and they're tied to a post office box somewhere.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I have no problem with Johnny's Hamburgers, who's been open for 20 years, that's in Virginia, giving a campaign $1 million. Good for Johnny. He's worked hard. We know where he is. You can go in. You can't even go knock on the door on these 501c4s or, who's putting that money into that 501c4. And that's just a loop around PAC-to-PAC transfers. It's literally a way to get around it.
Yeah, that's well said. I think it's important for a couple of big reasons. First and foremost, the people of Alabama deserve to know who's funding our campaigns. And, the truth of the matter is, with all these candidates for public office, you're going to dance with the one who brought you. And I think the people of Alabama deserve to know who is funding my campaign. Every dollar I've raised, and by the way, 97% of the dollars I've raised are from right here in Alabama. It's individuals, it's families, it's businesses, and it's 100% disclosed with the Secretary of State's office. So I think it's important. I think the people of Alabama deserve to have that information to know, hey, who is Jay? Who is Pam? Who would they be likely to pick up the phone and answer a call from? Who would they be responsive to? And so the people of Alabama can go to the Secretary of State's office and look at everybody who's given to me. It's 100% disclosed. The other big reason to me, the Attorney General is the chief law enforcement officer of the state. And prosecuting things like public corruption, white-collar crime, this is the kind of tactic, this kind of shell company popping things up, moving things through, moving things around. This is the kind of tactic that those engaged in public corruption and white-collar crime engage in. And I think we need an Attorney General who's above that, who's not taking money from entities that are being moved around like that to hide money from the people of Alabama.
So is it illegal what they're doing, or it's just like I'll say sometimes, like, things in politics, it's not illegal, but it's unsavory. Like Alabama being ranked number 4 in legal corruption. Like these kind of things, is it? I don't think there's anything illegal in what I'm hearing y'all saying. That's not illegal. It's just there's not a history there. And a 501c4, a lot of people like to give to because you do stay anonymous individually. But you're just saying there's not a track record of people they've supported, of kind of a history there of what they actually stand for. Or are there ones that you can say aren't on the up and up that have been around for a while that maybe are supporting Catherine?
Well, and look, regardless of who the money is going to, regardless what race it's going into, when you set up a 501c4 or someone sets up a 501c4 within days and or weeks of making $1 million contribution, tell me why. Why were you not willing to let that person even put it in a...
Hello and welcome back. How are you? We hope your Monday's off to a good start. Truly. Is it raining outside still? Does anyone know? Or is it pretty?
It's not pretty. It's not raining.
At least my plants are getting water. No one in my family can believe that my plants are alive this long. So
You done did it.
Speaking of, I think the Bama Super Regional got rescheduled to right now, 11 o'clock.
wait, really? Who are they playing?
St. John's. They started the game at 3 o'clock yesterday, and then I think they got to the 7th inning, and then the rain came in, and they like waited all night, and then at like 11 o'clock, they're like, okay, we're gonna have to punt this to tomorrow morning because it rained so much.
Like waited all night.
Yes, yeah,
And then got late because they won't hesitate. Haven't some games in the past played through until like 1 a.m.?
yeah. They had the tarp on the field, and like, yeah, I think it was around 10 or 11. I think they wanted to restart the game at 10 o'clock last night, and then they had lightning in the area, and then they had to punt it to 11 o'clock this morning. That's just so long.
No, thank you.
Jennings, like Homewood was flooded last night. I have not seen it rain that hard. Of course, we were out of town that week when we were in the Keys. Apparently it rained all week. So maybe y'all are used to this, but that was like a serious downpour last night.
Oh, it was a lot.
My dogs hated it.
Oh, dogs do hate it. Was Alabama up? Were they winning?
We were.
Like, what was the score?
I'm trying to remember. It was like 7-2 or something.
Okay. So, well, there's that.
So we have a great story. Allison, will you tell the good people what happened at the Supreme Court in regards for
are we
parents?
doing that now? Or do you want to do...
Or I'll do whatever you want.
No. Is that part of the Pride? Are we doing 11:30 Pride?
Yeah. I think we can talk Supreme Court because I think that's worthy of discussing on its own.
Okay. So, if you... Well, now I'm not ready.
Here.
Hold on. JP,
It's okay.
I sent you the clip. Do you want to play it? Let me send you the...
Yeah, the Pride clip is really good. I have Ronald Carter yesterday put out a great breakdown. Oh, look. Of course we have the same thing saved.
You sent me which clip?
The one from SCOTUS. It's not in the montage. Do you have it? I can send it to you.
It's in, I just sent it straight to you. I didn't send it in the treehouse. But basically...
Oh, yes, you did. Okay.
There was a school in... Yeah, can you play it? Because that sets it up. And then we can walk through exactly what it says for parents.
Give me a couple of
rights.
seconds.
It is a huge ruling. It's just a preliminary injunction, but basically it sets up the parental rights gift that we have been asking for from the Supreme Court. It says that you can remove your children from this crap that they are shoving down our kids' throats, even in Alabama. What happened I can't remember where the school district was that sued, but for a while the school district was allowing parents to opt out of this LGBTQ or things that conflicted with their religious beliefs. They could opt their children out. Well, so many parents were opting their children out that then the school system said, never mind, we're not going to have opt-outs anymore. And then that's where they sued and it went to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. All right, we can play the video.
Okay.
Religious liberty and whether parents should be informed and be able to opt their children out from reading books in the classroom that go against their faith. Shannon Bream is at the Supreme Court. We were watching for this one. What's the verdict?
We were, Dana. So this brought together a coalition of parents of different religious faiths and backgrounds who said there used to be a rule in this particular school district that would let them know when there were books that dealt with issues that may be in conflict with their religious faith. Well, so many parents were opting out that the school board and the school district quit doing it. Well, 6-3 today in a decision by Justice Alito, they said these parents have earned at least a preliminary injunction. So while this case plays out, they said the board has to notify them about a book that's in question or anything similar so that their kids can be excused if it's in conflict with their faith. He says, as we've explained, without that, parents are left this choice: either risk their child's exposure to burdensome instruction or pay substantial sums for alternative educational services. Because at one point, Justice Jackson, during the arguments, had said, why don't they just go to a different school? Why don't you put them in private school or homeschool them? Justice Alito and others saying that's not practical for a lot of people. The dissent by Justice Sotomayor, joined by Justices Kagan and Jackson, says today's ruling threatens the essence of public education. She says it's not about bringing kids together to learn about a particular faith, but a range of concepts and views that reflect our entire society. Exposure to new ideas has always been a vital part of that project until now. The dissenters didn't think that the parents should get the opt-out. Justice Alito and the majority say they should.
So the question really was, at the heart of it for me, is if you do not have the final say as the parent over your child and what they learn, what do you have? Because what we found out during COVID is that there are many principals and people in school, and Christian school as well, who think that when your child is in their school during the day, when they cross the threshold and begin at 7:50 or 8:02 a.m., that they are theirs and they can do what they want. And I know because I've heard it said out loud to me. So this is a massive victory because we are still in charge.
I think it goes back to, because of God's common grace, because God created everyone on this planet, there are certain parts of our souls that know right or wrong. There's certain universal truths. It's why books, you can touch a lot of people with themes in books, and those themes that are generally accepted, or at least have been until now, of just, being kind, thinking of others, not physically hurting others, helping other people. Like, there are ways you can inform children. There are themes that you can talk about. That hard work, that's another one. Like, that you can present to this is elementary school kids that don't violate someone's religious beliefs. And if you are in a home and you're Muslim, gay, whatever you want to be, you can still teach your kids that. I would advise you that there are some things that, maybe you shouldn't teach. You can't control that. But it is so unfair to subject these kids to some of these ideas outside of the permission of parents. And every kid is at a different stage of development. Some kids can maybe handle some discussions of these deeper things. Some kids are just trying to learn their colors. Like, it's just so wrong. So I love that they came out with this, and they basically gave a how-to, a bullet point list of what you can and can't do. You have to have advance notice. Schools must tell parents before exposing children to challenge books.
Opt out. Right. Parents can excuse their children from that specific instruction.
Free exercise protection, forcing children into lessons that pose a very real threat of undermining religious beliefs is unconstitutional.
Preliminary injunction. This is active now, not pending a future ruling.
And the other thing, it just goes on to talk about Montgomery County, Maryland, the specific district, but that it would apply to, other districts across. And they go on to say the nationwide signal is any district with a no opt-out policy on religious conflict content now faces the same legal exposure. So
the other part is that the Fourth Circuit was overruled. That's great, because remember, the whole thing started because they sided with the school board and not with parents. And so I think that's also fantastic. But of course, the majority was Roberts, Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett, which is surprising and wonderful. But there was zero deference to the school board's no opt-out policy. That is delightful. because so often they will defer to the school. But I just want to ask them, how do you have any of these students in the first place? Like, if you just logically went back to how you have these students, who brings them to your schoolhouse door? And then the audacity that they exercised over parents to say, no, you have to do this.
Well, and just think if because with LGBTQ stuff, and that's the crux of what we're talking about, these are the books, it really is their religion.
Mm-hmm.
It is their religion. It is the hill they are willing to die on. And imagine if kids were forced to sit through a book reading about the gospel and Jesus's birth, death, and resurrection, and how it saves you from eternal damnation and is the only way to heaven. Can you imagine?
I can't. That place would be on fire.
Literally. And so it's just so hypocritical. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Do you think they actually, what are the repercussions if they don't abide?
Ooh. Well, they'll abide for a little while and then they'll try to step out and get around it somehow. I don't know how, but they don't think these rules actually apply to them. They're shocked that this has happened. So I don't know how they'll do it, but they're going to do it. And then they'll get, slapped down again.
I guess they can lose federal funding.
They could. But when, as you said very well, this is their religion and they're not going to give up on their religion. Now, this is interesting because the case started because Christians and a Muslim family came together. And I think it was in Virginia. Maryland. Close.
Really close.
I don't really like Maryland Terrapins uniforms, by the way. But this is interesting that when families come together, this is great because you can see what can happen. But I do think they'll step out. I do think they're going to figure out some kind of wicked workaround. So stay tuned. But big news that the court sided with the people they rightly should have been with from the jump, the parents.
I do have to just give myself and two other people attaboy like I do when this subject comes up. Because a few years ago when they were doing all the mental health coordinator stuff, which we have massive amounts of funding for, myself and two other people wrote an amendment to go to the bill that would make it an opt-in program instead of opt-out. So if you remember, and the more I know about the legislature, I have, but God, zero clue how this got passed.
Holy Spirit gave you the idea
too. It's
awesome.
I don't even know how, knowing now how hard it is to get anything done and passed in the legislature. I'll tell you why, because we actually had Democrats championing this idea too. One prominent senator was like, my grandson's in counseling and I get it. You don't want other counseling views coming in. There's been a lot of time and money, and so I think it was because it was a bipartisan effort. But there are things you can do in your state to protect yourself. Look for an opt-in instead of an opt-out. And, if you look, all of a sudden when you register your kids, it showed up. If they're 14 and under, you have to approve that they go to, and I don't know why they didn't do it all the way through. We just took what we got. It was through 8th grade. But looks like maybe the Supreme Court is going to step in and do that for us, hopefully soon.
Boy, that'd be great. But can you even imagine? And here's the other thing, and it leads to this second part of the discussion you just mentioned, is the school counselors and the havoc that terrible pagan counselors can wreak on a kid's life, like havoc. Because you can see immediately when somebody is coming from a godless perspective and a pagan worldview, how dastardly that is on a kid's mind, how they separate you even more as a parent when you know your child's been talking to somebody. And so that doesn't come from your same worldview. So I'm so thankful in Alabama, there is the opt-out or opt-in from a certain age. But I still hope that at some point we revisit why did you guys think we needed mental health counselors in the first place? Oh, yeah, that's because their curriculum is garbage and it's designed to separate kids from their parents. So, did you think that in the designation of this Common Core DEI, CRT, SEL, did you think it wasn't going to have this effect? Or did you know it always would? And so you put built in safeguards like, oh, mental health counselors, that's so great. I don't know, but we need to revisit this and get them out in completely. Let the school counselors, there are certain school counselors that help with kids getting to college, and there are others that are counselors. But this plethora of school counselors that we have now for all these kids in their emotional little tiny classrooms that they have every day. How are you feeling? What are you thinking? No, teach them how to think, and they will be prepared for any eventuality. So I would like to eventually revisit that. Get the mental health counselors out of there. They have no right. You have no right to have them there in the first place.
And it's cost millions of dollars to taxpayers. I don't think the schools were ever intended to be counseling centers.
No, ma'am. I agree 100%.
I do think there's a role when you see something that's going on that maybe a child needs help. You coordinate with the parents to get them outside help.
That's right.
I can see that. But this whole and then they started bringing in nurses to do vaccines in the schools. No, we're not hospitals. We're not counseling centers. But I do have really good news. Did
What?
y'all see this?
No.
This is a boss move.
Oh, I'm excited. What is it? I'm not going to cheat. Oh, I did. This is exciting news.
The Auburn Board of Trustees takes full curricular control, dissolves faculty senate. Gave itself complete control over course offerings, curriculum, degree requirements, and academic credentials. This is huge because Auburn was going down the way of woke. And the Board of Trustees just said, we not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Not going to live like that in my own home.
Not going to do it.
This is great news.
Come at me, bruh.
War Eagle, fly down the field, ever to conquer, never to yield.
How about that? How about that?
This is fantastic news. Do you think Alabama will do the same thing? Because they are way woke.
They're deep in. Well, I don't know. We could take a bet.
So
I say no.
I agree with you. When they take control of the curriculum, what does that mean? Like specifically, how will we see that in our kids' lives since we have kids at Auburn?
Well, let me open.
And while she's looking, do you think this is good, JP?
Yeah, I didn't know the specifics. I mean, maybe y'all can explain more. I didn't know the specifics about how that worked, like with the Senate, the faculty Senate and all, and the control over the curriculum. So maybe y'all could fill all of us in about what exactly that means tangibly moving forward.
It's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, I'll have to.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I do think that's a really
I did read
good.
it, but I've got it. Don't want to say. There's one section. We'll come back to it, but this is it. We'll come back to it because
Okay.
I'll find it because this Inside Higher Ed article did a good job of laying it out, but it's really long. So I'll go back and find the condensed version of what it means. But basically it's a signal that we're just not doing this.
Mm.
We're just not. We're not going to play this game.
Who's the president of the Board of Trustees right now? Do you know?
That guy.
That guy. It's not the same as it has always been, is it? No.
No, but we do know someone on that board. Who is it, JP? You're typing.
It's Kay Ivey.
Well, yeah. So she sits at the head of the
Day-to-day,
Like all of 'em.
Day-to-day operations and board meetings are led by Jimmy Sanford,
That guy.
who serves as the president pro tem of the board.
Okay.
All right. Who else is on the board?
Let's find out. Clark Saley,
Okay.
Bob Dumas, James Rain. Is that Jimmy Rain?
That's Jimmy Rain. Jimmy Rain.
Jimmy Sanford, William P. Ainsworth.
That's Will's dad.
Really?
Billy Ainsworth.
He's
I
a
was
good
gonna
guy.
Elizabeth Huntley, Caroline McDonald Adderholt, Is that
Hey,
relation
Caroline.
to-
Did not know she was on the board.
Michael Demayeribus, James Pratt,
Hmm.
Quentin Riggins, Wayne Smith, Zeke Smith, Timothy Vines, and Walt Waltos.
Oh, Timothy Vines. That's interesting. And Walt who?
Walt Waltos.
Okay.
WOLTOSC.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, kudos.
I wonder if they can come on.
Kudos. Yeah, I'd love to know, what does this mean and how can other schools follow suit? Because not only do you have this excellent SCOTUS ruling for parents, this is also great news for parents, because essentially they're taking control basically of the indoctrination stations that were happening on campus all over the place. But Auburn's already a great school and I love it and I've been impressed. But I would love details on what this actually means.
I'll say this too about just the overall discussion about parents being able to opt out. The modern, if we're gonna look through the lens of like current communism, what would be the best and most efficient and effective means of production?
Get the children.
The children. So that is their agenda. Like even if the most naive and the most benevolent explanation as to why they'd want these kids to read the books, there's nothing other than you just want to indoctrinate them to. And it'd be one thing, like you said, if it was something, abstract or something. It is just pure sexual degeneracy that they're trying to brainwash them with and ruin them for the rest of their lives. But the most benevolent answer is, you're trying to indoctrinate them. Like that is the only answer. And they're trying to seize the means of production in terms of the kids, because I'm going to go there with the LGBTQ and that lifestyle. They can't have kids of their own. So they have to indoctrinate other people's kids. That's the only way to seize the means of production. So that's what this is. And the only right answer is that no, the parents who actually that's actually their kids should have the say over people who are just trying to snatch them from their parents and indoctrinate them. Like that there is no benevolent. That is the only explanation. And what does the Bible say? If you go for the kids, you better to have a millstone around your neck and thrown in the water. Like that is the most evil of all evil. So I'm happy. Like you said, I mean, isn't this just granting them an injunction to back down to the lower court? So we'll see if they do their job too. But that is the answer. Like they're trying to implement their agenda because they can't have their own kids. They're other people's kids for the future. And it's evil and it's sick.
Yep.
This is what it says about Auburn. It says in the coming weeks, the work of the board will include timelines, procedures, and guidance for curriculum review, course approval, syllabus expectations, core curriculum review, and the formation of the Presidential Academic Advisory Council. Auburn is strengthened by faculty whose expertise, dedication, and scholarship sustain the excellence of our teaching, research, and service to students. As this work moves forward, it will be guided by academic quality, intellectual rigor, educational excellence, and clear communication so that the resulting process reflect both institutional purpose and the values that have long shaped Auburn's academic community.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be funny if they came out and said they were only going to hire furries for professors? Like we're assuming it's going one way, but what if they just
They just make it worse.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, it is Auburn.
I mean, they could look. We've seen
That
some
would
weird
stink.
stuff happen.
That would stink.
Mm.
On the other side,
Dodgers. Pride Night.
Oh
What's
my
going
gosh.
on there?
Did y'all see what HelloFresh did? If
Yes.
you order from HelloFresh, I don't even know if I'll be able to get through the story. You need to cancel it
Immediately.
Well, unless you're prepping. Just gonna leave it there. We'll be back.
A pack and make that contribution. It is a way to avoid the law as our state legislators wrote it. Senator Orr, if I remember correctly, had a bill trying to get rid of this because it's just a way to, and as you said, it's not illegal, but it's like saying, hey, watch this. I'm going to go around the laws that y'all created. Nothing you can do about it. You know who gets the short end of the stick? The people of the state of Alabama.
Well, and Allison, it's not a small amount of money either. I mean, it's well over half of my runoff opponent's money is through these kinds of tactics and shell games. And I just think that's problematic. And I think the people of Alabama, if I were, sitting in, Joe Q. Public's chair, sitting here looking at this race, I'd be wondering, who are these people?
Yeah.
Why are they hiding it? And what do these people possibly want with Alabama Attorney General's office? What do they want with that? It concerns me. I think it concerns a lot of Republican voters out there who's doing this and what do they want with this office.
So can you, and this is something that we talk about actually a lot, and especially during campaign season, or even when you're in office, say you're elected, can you take money from entities? Like there's a legislator that I really respect, consider a friend. They take AEA money, which I have a huge issue with the AEA. But they also were one of the biggest proponents of school choice. There's another legislator that I'm friends with that takes Porch Creek money, but they'll say, I vote against gambling every time. So is that the exception? Like you said, we need to know who these people will be answering to. Can you take the money and not do the bidding of those people? Or is that just, am I being naive?
But there's not a record with this candidate. There's not a record of showing, because they've never run for office before, to see whether or not they took Porch Creek, but they're going to vote again. Whatever. You're talking about people who have a history that we can look at. I was thinking about Ryan here today. If somebody walked into your children and said, hey, your kid walked in and like, Mom, I got $500 today from a gentleman walking down the street, you'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
What gentleman? Well, I don't know. Well, what does he want from you? Like, how is that any different? Why? Who is it? And if you know who it is, then why don't you just say, hey, man, let's just put it on my records. I don't want to have to even deal with this.
Yeah. So how do average voters, because I think actually this whole American Conservative Fund, whatever, DraftKings was a really good exercise for the people of Alabama. I don't know if anybody's ever read the small print of, funded by. Teach us, like, what are we looking for? How do we know what's legit and what's not? Are there websites people need to go to and kind of look at the history, or like, how do we?
Well, I ask Catherine.
Or any race.
She knows who it is. Just ask her and let her tell you. I mean, either in the public forum like this, or people going up and seeing us at things we show up at. Just ask her who gave you all this money.
I guess I'm curious in a more general, like if it's the U.S. Senate race or whatever, like how do you actually check into this if you don't have access to you or a candidate? I mean, I guess you can email. Do y'all pay attention to your emails?
I do. I mean,
you give out your cell phone number. You're crazy.
I am a little crazy. You can go to alabamavotes.gov. You can put in a political candidate's name and what race they're looking for. You can look at a PAC. So even if
you can type in like the name that's on the bottom of the mailer, and
if it's a PAC, if it's set up as a PAC, then you should be able to look that up. The problem is you look it up and then you've got to go do a little research about, well, where's it from? And then you may have
follow
to you may have to go to look in Tennessee and see where in Tennessee that money, and then you'd have to go and get that Secretary of State's set up the paperwork. That's going to cost a voter money to have to do that. Whereas in Alabama, we have a really good system where you could actually follow the trail and it's at no cost to the people. We can't follow the trail of all the money that's come in.
I see what you're saying. Do y'all have any other closing thoughts on that? Because I actually wanted to get to some like policy kind of where anything else.
Yeah, talk about other things.
One of the things, people either loved or hated your Allah Akbar, your butt back. I thought it was hysterical. And I kind of identify with the sentiment. What can the Attorney General's office actually do on immigration and Sharia law and kind of protecting us? We're seeing it creep very quickly, even in North Shelby County, Pelham, a lot of Muslim infiltration into our political systems. And is there a balance there? Like, how do you not infringe on the rights of the people that are here, but protect America and Alabama?
Yeah, well, let me be very clear. What I said in that advertisement was really about sounding the alarm on the encroachment of radical Islam. And, you may remember that ad ran right after there had been a number of radical Islamic events here in the U.S. The guy shooting up the bar in Austin, Texas, the guy attacking the Army ROTC unit in Virginia, ramming into a synagogue in Michigan, throwing an IED over the fence at the mayor's mansion in New York. All that happened within a couple of weeks there in March. What I've been alarmed about, and I know others have been alarmed about, is seeing even what's been going on in our surrounding sister southern states. It's not just a Dearborn, Michigan thing or a Minneapolis thing or a New York thing. You look at Texas, you look at Florida. There's been very rapid development of mosques and madrasas and Islamic centers. And so what I wanted to really sound the alarm on was we don't want to allow the conditions in Alabama to be created that would allow radical Islam to take root. And I actually put out a plan about this, a specific policy plan. And among those things is, number one, we've got to make sure that Alabama's prohibition on Sharia law is not circumvented, is not
because it's
violated.
already illegal here.
It's illegal here.
You're worried about.
I'm worried about workarounds like we've seen in Texas, for example, where they've set up private tribunals to adjudicate disputes under Sharia law, not under Texas and American law. We need to make sure.
How is that even? Like, that just blows my mind.
We need to well, and some of this is going to be preemptive in Alabama, but we're seeing it happen right near us. I believe.
Welcome back to the Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, trying to get several things in this half hour before we are done for the day. We have a guest tomorrow, correct, JP?
Oh, we do.
We have Emily Jones.
Emily Jones.
This is going to be fantastic. So just look ahead to that.
And
State School Board.
Yeah. Did we invite her opponent on?
We did. An invitation has been reached out to William Matthews.
William Matthews?
Yeah.
I thought his name was Prince William.
That's his radio name.
And he
William
said
Matthews
he
is-
hasn't responded.
He has not responded.
Why don't
Okay.
you reach back out today?
We'll reach back out again, but that's where that lies. So
Okay.
Because are they the only state school board race that's in a runoff?
I believe so. Yeah.
And the state school board matters, hence the conversation we just had.
It matters so much. So what we're going to talk about now is, because look, we covered ICE in the montage. They are paid protesters.
Oh yeah.
It's manufactured. It has everything to do with JP's piece, though a different subject matter. It's manufactured outrage. So even Tom Homan went into that facility, had a meal, and then surprised them the next day. He went in and then surprised them the next day to check out the food situation. He's like, there's nothing to see here. So there's that story. But as long as there's manufactured outrage, can't give it to them. Like, all right, go on. You do you. Cute. We know some of y'all are from Oregon and Washington State. All right, got it. Moving on to the real story. And that is that the LA Dodgers had their Pride Night. Bless you. Bless you again. Every player except for one was wearing Pride hats. Blake, is it Treinen?
Blake Trinan.
Trinan was not wearing a Pride hat when he entered the ball game. And this is what we're noticing during June, as it's been designated by the powers that be that it's Pride Month, whatever that means, that everybody should get in lockstep with this religious experience of experiencing Pride Night. Oh, okay. Talk about shoving it down or into people's faces. You better go along with this or else. And yet one person doesn't. And I see online that they're mocking him for wearing a hat of his choice. So you must follow along or you will be destroyed, which that's called fascism. They're doing it, not us. But then I saw the HelloFresh ad this morning, which is a food
Okay, I haven't
thing.
seen this.
Okay,
so y'all are gonna
Allison's
tell
going to have to tell you, but the greater discussion that we want to have is that stats for support for Pride Month are crumbling. They started out crazy 3 years ago when Allison went to Target to find the tuck-friendly bathing suits. And now people have had it, and they should just play ball. That's all. But they're making these family-friendly experiences into things nobody asked for. But this HelloFresh and the ad is ridiculous. So Pride Night, specifically LA Dodgers, HelloFresh, statistics on pride and support for that crumbling. So What's the HelloFresh saying? Can you get through it? Do you think you can do it? Do you need to look away?
No, I can do it, but it's so like, think about this. What are you laughing at? Are you reading it?
Yeah.
Why? I wanted to see your
JP.
reaction and why you cheated.
Well, I was going to put it up on the screen while you said it.
Okay, go ahead. Put it up on the screen because it's just, remember Leave It to Beaver? You probably don't.
I don't know.
Okay, well, like back in the 50s, they couldn't even show the Cleavers sleeping in the same bed. Okay, they had 2 twin beds. It's like everything was we didn't talk about these things. Now you have HelloFresh putting out an official statement. It says HelloFresh with a lemon that is in a pride flag. Oh, wait, you can see it. Official statement. We know eating isn't always a top priority this month.
Oh. What do you think they mean?
We respect that. That's how. Let me just pause there. You are in the business of selling food and meals and prepped meals to make it easy. You are willing to say, we get it that you're not eating this month because you're busy doing other things. That's how committed they are to this junk.
That's good.
That they are willing to sacrifice their bottom line.
I know
They are literally willing to give up sales because they said, but for those of you who are prepping, we have an extensive lineup of high fiber recipes available. Happy Pride.
High fiber. What's that got to do with anything?
Abs.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I kid.
I didn't even know prepping was a thing. I didn't know. I never knew how that worked until HelloFresh had to tell me.
Look, we're giving it to you straight. Okay. That's
So gross. Like, that's where we are as a society. That we're openly giving people tips on how to make Pride Month easier.
So, listen, we grew up in a world where people just did their thing and they didn't make everybody do what they wanted to do, which was you will celebrate this or else. That's not how we grew up. And so people were still gay. They've been gay since the beginning of time. It just is what it is. But these days, being made to celebrate something that you disagree with is not different than them being made to celebrate something they don't agree with. So just do your thing and stop with this. You are doing the very thing you criticize. And we've had it.
I don't think they're making you celebrate it, but they're putting it in. Like, if you have to prep for colonoscopy,
Yeah.
you know what to do.
Right.
If you need to prep for something else, you know what to do. Why do we have to talk about it? Why do I have to scroll through and see, like, why should my brain even have to stop and focus there? That's just gross.
They want to normalize it and degrade society, but also they want to like gaslight you, like to where they force you to have a reaction. And then when you have the reaction, it's like the reaction is what they want. Then you can be lambasted as a homophobe and everything. But that's why they're going to shove it in front of your face. So you either have to accept it or you have to have the normal visceral reaction. And then when you have that, then you're a homophobe. That's what they want. And altogether just to make society gross.
Well, I guess I'm a homophobe because if this is what you have to do to make it work, I'm kind of out.
Well, I'll say, sorry, I was going to go to a lighter note on it, but I don't know if you had anything else.
I do. So I had saved this from last week, but look, if this is your struggle, this has nothing to do with whether or not we love or accept you. Okay, period. But to be made to have months and maybe stores you visit.
That's what you're talking about, celebrating. I get it.
Yeah, go to stores and you're made to celebrate, or going to whatever it is, you have to do this. Or else, like JP is saying, or else, because our reaction is their action. That's what they want. So then they can come in and call us names. But what happened to anyway, I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to give what I found from Red State, which I think is interesting. Is the new Gallup poll reveals that the current proportion of the U.S. population identifying as LGBTQ is 9%. The high rate is being driven primarily by young Democrat women who identify as bisexual. There's a graph if you'd like to read it. But a new Gallup poll released on Wednesday shows that American support for LGBTQ issues may have reached its peak and is now declining. It also reveals that fewer Americans support same-sex marriage or viewing gay relationships as morally acceptable. The poll shows that while most Americans still support same-sex marriage at 65%, that support has fallen 6 percentage points since reaching its high in 2022 and 2023. Right? Moral acceptance of gay and lesbian relationships has fallen to 62%, the lowest since 2016. Much to the chagrin of radical leftists, acceptance of gender transition is even lower. Just 38% of Americans believe changing one's gender, which is not a thing, but we've bought in, and there's a lot of money to be made in it, is morally acceptable, down 8 points since 2021. Wrapping up, of those polled, 58% or 57% view gender transitioning as morally wrong, and there are no surprises in the poll when broken down by party. Republican support for same-sex marriages is at 37%, down 55%. The support dropped 6 points among independents to 67%, while Dems have remained steady at 87%. Americans have supported gay marriage steadily over the past 20 years, but support has dropped somewhat yearly since 2024. So somebody on Freedom is Not Free on X says a new Gallup poll shows the support is declining. And this is the whole point. If they stopped riding their bikes naked on Main Street and dressing up, perhaps mainstream America wouldn't have all this issue. And so maybe that's it. But again, back to the party of tolerance. If you do not accept what they want you to accept, you're out. And that's the part most of us have a problem with. That's all. But you've made it a complicated issue. And you cut people off because they don't agree with you on this and a myriad of issues. And what is that? People have had it. That's all. To me, it's that simple. But wow, that article was like, when I saw it, I'm like, wait a second, they've really been tracking this.
Yeah.
So do you think there's a reason why support is declining? Do you agree with that? Is that what you're seeing?
I think so. I think personally in 2020, when nothing really seemed real, like when I look back on that time, it was like a spiritual, something was off. It's like almost like the devil just had free reign over everything. We had the riots over George Floyd, obviously COVID, and then that kind of opened the door to transgenderism really going wild, LGBTQ really going wild. And I think once that was introduced, evil kind of got a foothold. And I think over time, people are just kind of being done with it. I think in the moment you were kind of scared to go against it. And I mean, that all happened when I was a junior, senior in high school. So I understood, like, even at the time, I was a bit scared to be like, this is weird because of the reaction you got. But I think over time, where it just got mainstreamed, people are coming to realize this is gross. This is weird. I don't like this. I don't like seeing this everywhere. I don't like my kids seeing this everywhere. It's almost like people are done with the fad of just pride, but everything that was kind of introduced in 2020. And like I said, it's not completely gone, but I think people are done with it being mainstream, because I think everybody knows this is weird. This is not normal. If you want to do that, but don't put it in front of everybody. Don't mainstream it. Don't normalize it. I think that's what people are coming to. But I will say the Texas Rangers for the MLB. So they're not hosting a Pride Night. You know what they're hosting instead of a Pride Night? They're hosting a faith and family night instead. And it says they will feature personal testimonies from Rangers players and others sharing how faith impacts their lives both on and off the field instead of a Pride Night.
That's super cool.
So I think it's the tide's starting to turn. Where not even teams are just ignoring it, but they're doing something to counter it. So that's what I think. I think the fad is losing its grip, and I think people are done playing the game of it being normal.
Yeah, I think they overplayed their hand.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like it was so in our faces. It's kind of funny. Our favorite neighbors we've lived in probably 5 neighborhoods. Our favorite neighbors, one was a gay couple, one's a lesbian couple. Okay, they've been the best neighbors, and right now
I'll say they're awesome.
Oh yeah, you met them.
Yeah,
you met them.
Yeah.
They are so cool. When we were in the Keys, we had dinner. Some of our friend of a friend, they live in Miami, married, I would say civil union. They gay couple came down and had dinner with us one night. Super cool. It's weird because they're conservatives, but the thing is, whether it's our neighbors that we love that are lesbians, or them coming down and this couple that we love and enjoy being with that are gay, they don't make it their whole identity. They don't shove it in your face. Like, you can have a normal conversation. It's not their entire thing. And actually with the guys we had dinner with, we've had discussions about my beliefs that it's not God's. And actually they are really struggling with that too. Like they are like, we dealt with this and had conflicting issues. They both were raised in the South and religious families, and they're open to having that discussion. I have not once compromised my convictions and my beliefs and my faith to have dinner with them or be neighbors with them, but you can still appreciate them as human beings and just really great people, and not still speak truth. It's like we do with people all the time that we work with that aren't believers, or that are believers that are cheating on their wives or their husbands. Like, we would never be like, oh, that's okay. You just go with that. That's how
right.
you feel. Look, I'm going to tell you that's probably not the best path to be on, but I'm here. And I'm going to treat you like a human being. But I think with the LGBTQ, whatever, to wherever we are now, it's so in your face. Okay, it's like the conservative MAGA people that they make that their whole identity. And even as a conservative, I still want to punch you in the face. Like, chill out. Just be a human being.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So I think we're finally seeing people going, okay, I'm over it.
And just for fun, because I can't help myself, or I choose not to help myself, there's nothing that you can't help. Everything's a choice. If that's your issue and you are struggling, there are 2 great people that Allison and I have read or listened to podcasts, and that one is Rosaria Butterfield, is incredible.
Oh, she's so good.
She wrote The Gospel Comes with a House Key. She wrote Secret Thoughts from an Unlikely Convert. She was huge in women's feminist lit in literature at either, I think, Cornell or Syracuse, but amazing. And then came to faith through the patient conversation with a pastor and his wife over a 2-year period. She's now a married mother with 5 kids. Her husband is a pastor. She also wrote a book behind me here, 5 Lies of Our Anti-Christian Age. And one of the chapter is on sexuality. And then another guy who is tremendous, his name is Christopher Ewan. And his book is Holy Sexuality. And in it, he talks about the fact, and I heard this first from my Uncle John, how you are is not who you are. You are a child of God. You are stamped with his image, even if you have not submitted to his will yet. But how you are, you say you're homosexual. That's how you are, is not who you are. You've made sex your entire identity. No, that's not true. It's not true. But if you want resources, those two people, Rosaria Butterfield, Christopher Ewan, incredible. Because we recognize that. But there aren't special carve-out sins. No one gets that, not in the kingdom. You don't get a pass for cheating on your wife or being, whatever it is that your struggle. Everybody has a struggle, but God sees it all. If you're willing to submit and surrender, you're looking at a whole new path of life, which is eternal or not. But if you're interested in finding out more, those are two people that we trust and we can recommend because we've read them, we've listened to them, and we don't want you in this discussion to only hear us say we're tired of the Pride Night stuff. We want you to have resources that may help you in your life. Maybe. That's up to you. So there. What do y'all think? Anything else?
Well, I agree. And this is, Allison and I talked about this, I think Friday when we were talking about our pet peeves. And one of hers was, she specifically mentioned like this discussion being twisted against Christians as us hating gay people. Like we hate the sin itself. We don't hate the sinners. Like we're not going to accommodate or change our beliefs for the sin. Like we still love the sinners, but no, we're not going to allow you to barge in and indoctrinate your sin upon our kids. Like we're not going to allow that. Doesn't mean that we want you to be murdered in the town square. It's not like we want you to be ostracized from like, but you're not going to impose the sin on us. But that does, like you said, that doesn't mean that we don't think there's forgiveness. We don't think that there's, a way through that. But the distinction between the sin and the sinner, like we love the sinner, we hate the sin. So, but it always gets twisted as Christians that are hateful people, where we're not hateful, but we have to have a backbone that's righteous to not, because if we accommodate the sin, then we're not loving the sinner. Like if we allow you, if we tell you what you want to hear, and I used to be that guy. I mean, when I was in college, there's certain people and certain lifestyles that I didn't partake in, but I had the mindset of, well, it's not of my. Is it very Christian to not talk to them? Like maybe I can hang around them, but not change my lifestyle. And let me just tell you, those people, in terms of the really radical, like the sin and the chaos that's in their life, will wreck your life. And trust me, it wrecked my life. And certain individuals tried to ruin my life and people I love's life. So you have to protect yourself and have guardrails up, because it's the chaos through the sinner with the sin that you can't allow within your heart and within around you, the people around you. So you have to have guardrails and be firm on what's right. But also, we don't hate the sinner. They've given themselves to a sin that has ruined their life, and we want them to come through that. But I think the distinction is, like I said, the sin and the sinner are different. We hate the sin, not the sinner.
It's true. Also, ideas have consequences. Some of them are deadly. And we all have sins, and we're all sinners. So we're not out of this, like, period. But ideas really do have consequences, and none of us get to escape the consequence for our choices. So
I'd really like to.
Me too. Oh my gosh.
Like I was an only child, and naturally I have a really selfish bent. I mean, I just had to think about myself. I don't get a pass for that. Ask Jared. I don't really get a pass for that. Sometimes I wish I could.
But you know what else that really, like 2 minutes on this, but it also goes along with the discussions we've had today, Pride Night, Pride Month, and all this also has to do with the inability of many of us in our culture today. We don't know how to have conversations with people with whom we disagree. You put articles out there and people absolutely lose their mind. This is one more example that we're talking about. People lose their mind over the gay straight conversation. They lose it. And they lose their mind when you put another bit of truth that they were not prepared for. And in their not ability to think logically or critically and go back and forth with one another, walk away, cordially, they can't do that. And that's another way that I'm seeing that in our lives. No one really knows how to talk to each other anymore. It's either you agree with me or off with your head. And that's not it at all. We used to know
Literally.
how to talk. We don't know how to talk anymore. Right, JP?
That we don't.
I mean, I'm in disbelief over some of the things people say. Disbelief. So that's one of the reasons why we exist. We go there, but we go there because we want to talk it through and think it through and then figure out what to do with that. That's dead in our culture. I think that's one of the reasons why we are where we are. But you stick with us long enough and we'll go there on a subject that you're like, wow. But why not? We used to do that. And we forgot.
Kind of like today.
Kind of like today. That's right.
Yeah. Having a little bit of regret
Are you?
on the live stream.
What were you regretting?
I don't know.
All of it.
I should have made you read the HelloFresh statement.
Y'all can just go look up the rest of the HelloFresh for yourself.
Because I thought HelloFresh was like the company that makes pet food. So I thought where we were going was that like they were embracing furries. I was not expecting that. Okay? I was not expecting.
That's coming next.
And I'm glad I read it first before, because if I got the honest reaction from you, it would have been way worse.
Isn't that like Farmer's Fresh or
Farm
Yeah.
Fresh, Farmer's Pet.
Farmer's
Pet,
Pet or
something.
Hello Farmer?
But I thought it was going to be we can make pet food for furries. That's what I was expecting.
JP, that is awfully creative of you.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't think it was gonna be that.
But it's really
that
is
brazen.
indicative of where we are, that he actually thought that might be a legit thing.
Yeah, it's
That's
okay.
such a sad but good point.
Because when I was in school, it was a thing that high schools had to have cages and pet food in the corner of bathrooms unless they were
Wait, what?
I'm so-
furry phobic.
Wait, are you serious right now?
Well, not my specific high school, but yeah, high school was around. I mean, yeah.
In Alabama?
Allison, isn't that funny? People told us that was outrageous
I
and
can't remember-
not true.
I can't remember the specific school in
But
Alabama.
we knew it was true.
Boaz. You remember?
How about Birmingham? Yeah. Anywho, stick with this long enough. We knew
And
that
when-
was true. We
And
knew it.
When I was in middle school, the people that thought they were horses and neighed and ran through the hallways like horses, you know, we were like, that's weird.
Wait, that actually happened?
Oh, I can think of a kid right now who
They
used to do that.
neighed
There-
in the halls?
There was a group of girls, like 3 or 4,
Just like
that acted like horses, and like if and I remember the reaction from everybody else was like, but we didn't get like hay and put hay in the bathrooms for them.
You are not getting a date to prom. Like middle school days, they stick around.
They do. No one forgets.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't go to prom with the horse girls.
Or the nose pickers. Can't go there either.
I
And now,
can
like-
forgive you for picking your nose.
But a neighing horse running through the halls.
and now that like I follow those girls or one of those girls on Instagram still from middle school, and whenever I see a post of her, I just can't get that out of my head. I'm like,
See?
you're the horse girl.
did they have like a little hobby horse that they like galloped?
Well, no, they physically galloped like through the halls.
Stop.
And like we weren't mean to them, but we were like, that's not normal. We didn't normalize it. Like we didn't put kibble and hay in the bathrooms.
Kibble.
Yeah.
Horses eat kibble. I guess that was for the dogs.
Yeah, for the dogs.
Yeah, okay.
But there
That's
was one high school in
precious.
Alabama, they made them.
Oh.
I can't remember which one.
I
but that was
remember.
big.
Do you remember when we went to Spring Valley Beach
Yes.
and we were waiting on I don't think it was the concrete slide. It was one of the slides. And this group of middle schoolers started talking about, they went to Boaz, the litter box in the bathroom.
Yes, that's what it was. The litter box. Yes. Yeah.
And there was a litter box in a bathroom in the Birmingham area as well, or requested. So, anywho, for those of you years ago that said that would never happen.
That's why our interview with Emily Jones tomorrow, who's running for school board, matters.
Well done, Allison. That deserves this.
You don't want to miss it because we don't want kibble in our bathrooms.